Shokan created us as well. You cannot kill what is already dead. Magic binds me still.
Hi guys, welcome back to the channel and to another Mortal Kombat mobile character review. Today we are going to take a closer look at Shokan Warrior Kintaro. We will take a little deep dive into the past and into the present, and we will just find out what this character is all about. Shokan Warrior Kintaro is part of the Outworld class and his passive is called Art of the Shokan. If Kintaro successfully blocks a special attack, he has a chance to retaliate with the jump stomp on the opponent, which applies a fire DOT. Kintaro and his team take reduced damage from fire DOTs. Shokan Warrior Kintaro was introduced with update 1.17, and he has always been a challenge card. Back then he was maxed out with level 50 and fusion 7, and his old passive is actually a little bit different from the passive that we have right now. Because in the old passive it was stated that Kintaro and his team have increased resistance to fire DOTs instead of just taking less damage from it. After finishing his challenge for the very first time, he was available in the old store for 473 souls. He was also available in the challenge pack, and he still is, and there are also things like the Elder Challenge Booster and probably several other packs I don't have pictures of, unfortunately, but of course he will also drop in Faction Wars at the end of the season. He can drop in diamond packs when you open those 4 diamonds and instead get the challenge character, the renown rewards from the quest mode, so there are plenty of ways how you can obtain Shokan Warrior Kintaro. In the new store his price was reduced and now he's available for only 450 souls. And after the level cap was raised, he was maxed out with level 60 and fusion 10. Kintaro's gear piece is Kintaro's Tiger's Eye, and it gives you 50% basic attack damage boost, 20% chance to apply bleed DOT on basic attacks that does 11.5% damage, which is for Kintaro characters only, and 25% damage boost against enemies affected by bleed or poison. In terms of his feats of strength, he will have to perform 250 X-ray/fatal blow attacks to unlock his rune. For his victory stances, he has to win 750 matches in Faction Wars. For his taunts, he has to perform 2000 special 1 attacks. For his icons, he has to knock out 1000 enemies. For his backgrounds, he has to win 500 matches in battle mode. And for his titles, he has to knock out 500 Liu Kang enemies. And now we are going to take a look at the victory stances one by one. We're starting with Displeased. Next up we have Champion. Third we have You Are Weak. And exclusive for Shokan Warrior Kintaro only, Roar. And on your victory screen it will look like this. Now I'm going to show you all of his backgrounds. Yes, all 4 of them. Next up we have the icons. And finally the titles. Kintaro has 2 kinds of combo enders. The first one is a kick that knocks the enemy down to the ground. His second combo ender is composed of several hits, a kick, and finally a fire attack. Please be aware that this fire attack will not set the opponent on fire, it's just there for visual purposes. His special 1 attack is called Shokan Fury and it just has a damage effect, so there is no other special effect tied to it, but therefore this attack is capable of KOing your opponent. His special 2 attack is called Groundbreaker and it has not only a fire DOT tied to it, but is also unblockable, which makes it incredibly useful, especially when Kintaro is tagged out and ready with a special 2. You can just tag him in, and in this case you just knock out your opponents with this massive high damage attack. His X-ray is called the Shokan Smash, and the interesting thing is that this animation is completely identical with the variations of Goro, but to that a little bit more later. His passive Art of the Shokan is basically just retaliating and setting the opponent on fire, which is not really a bad thing, but on the other hand, the problem is that this attack is triggered very rarely, so there is not always a chance that he will retaliate with that, and that makes it very unpredictable and also unreliable. But now it's time to recommend some gear, and my first gear choice would be the Wrath Hammer. Shokan Warrior Kintaro needs to deal a lot of damage, especially when he uses his unblockable special 2 a lot, so 20% attack boost from the Wrath Hammer are always welcome. My second choice would be the Bloody Shokan Armor, and that has the very important reason. If you want to use Kintaro's passive, you have to block special attacks, and if you are blocking special attacks, why not directly reflect some damage before the retaliation attack comes, in case it comes. So it can really happen that you're reflecting back all the damage and the opponent basically brings himself down to 0 health, and then that retaliation attack from his passive is just KOing the opponent in just one go, and you don't have to do anything besides holding block. My third choice would be the T800 Endoskeleton, because it will also give you some extra health and on top will reduce the power costs of special 2s by 50%, which means that you can get back to your special 2 much faster. Choice number 4 would actually be his own gear piece, the Kintaro's Tiger's Eye. Besides from 50% damage boost on basic attacks, it is always nice to cause some bleed, unless of course you're facing Piercing Melina. And that is a point that I really mean. If you see Piercing Melina in the opponent team and you have Kintaro Tiger's Eye on him, just open that card, remove that piece of gear. It will save your life, because just one basic attack is enough to get her to a full X-ray, despite her having no power to begin with. So really remove that thing once you see her, otherwise you will have to take the consequences. And the winner in my book, my number 5, is the Vial of Infinite Blood. And here again, don't use that thing once you face piercing melee. Now, especially don't use both together. What the hell are you doing if you do that? So really just use that on opponents who are not getting boosted by bleed DOTs. Otherwise, this combination is quite fun. So then let's get to the character recommendations. Number 1 is once again Ravenous Melina. She is always there when it comes to DOTs, bleed, fire, poison, something like that, because she will just boost that damage by 100%, so she is an ideal supporter for Kintaro, and with her fast tag and attack she is an absolute benefit to every team. As my next character recommendation, I would suggest Tigra Fury Goro, because with his passive, Kintaro has always a chance to set the opponent on fire each time he tags in, so that's quite funny because he's all around fire anyway, and when he already causes fire by coming into the field, that's just state of the art. As third character, I would recommend Sun God Kotal Khan once again for 30% attack boost for all Outworld teammates, and besides, he is a pretty good fighter, so in your team he will always really rock the game if you have his special 2 ready, which is also unblockable, so you can play an unblockable special 2 team, for example. And since we're already building teams around fire, how about Sector Triborg, who will just boost that fire damage, and thanks to his passive, all characters who are dealing fire DOTs will have that damage benefit from him. And you probably saw it long coming, the winner in my book is once again Day of the Dead Kitana, because we need to heal with every character we knock out, and especially Kintaro, who always has to block special attacks, will absolutely benefit from a little health boost, thanks to Kitana. A final verdict for Kintaro, that is really not easy, because, absolutely honest, I am not a fan of this character at all, and that has mainly to do with the laziness of NetherRealm, the creators of the game. The special 1 attack is a 1-to-1 copy of Goro's special 1, at least the Tigra Fury variation. And also the X-Ray was just taken from Goro, so there is nothing new that Kintaro brings to the table aside from his unblockable special 2, which I absolutely applaud. This one is great. I have no doubts that you guys will enjoy playing with that special 2 attack. But aside from that, his basic attacks are slow. He moves very stiff. He's one of those big brute brawler characters. And everything that is really good, like his gear piece, is actually not directly from Kintaro himself. You need to add something, you need to add a good team to make him really shine. You need to protect him wherever possible, so there is really not all that much to like about him. But now it's still time for the pros and cons sections, and for the first pro I have the unblockable special 2. That was a no-brainer, that was quite easy. Also, his final victory stance, the Roar, is really a very nice touch that I really enjoyed all the time. And then here the problem already starts, because my third, I don't really know what to say, meow. And as funny as that may sound, it's actually very poor if you cannot even come up with 3 good reasons why Shokan Warrior Kintaro is worth it. So let's get to the cons section, and here we have quite a few things to cover. As already mentioned, he is a lazy copy of Goro. NetherRealm didn't put any effort into creating this card, just using the special 1 and the X-Ray, slapping a new design on, maybe creating another special 2 animation, which actually would look better on Goro anyway. From the moment he was released, he was quite a disappointment after we got Goro first and saw that he was just nothing new at all. The next issue, and thereby my second con, are the basic attacks, and that has mainly to do with the initial first hit that takes so long that Kintaro mainly gets already blasted before he lands the first punch. Once he is in his attack string, it's fine, but to get to that point, especially with fast characters, Kintaro really has a lot of problems to get going. Then as my third con, and that's also quite a very obvious one, and that is his passive is triggering so rarely that it doesn't really feel like much of a benefit at all. In fact, it's actually quite boring, because just jumping up and down and applying a little bit of fire, I mean seriously. Kintaro was released in the update together with Dragon Breath Boreicho and Hanzo Hasashi Scorpion, and needless to say that everybody played Hanzo and nobody cared much for Kintaro. And all that laziness from Netherrealm will go down also here in the rating, and I will give Shokan Warrior Kintaro a 4 out of 10. This character was uninspired, it's nothing interesting that he brings to the table. It is cool that we have Kintaro as a character in MK Mobile, but unfortunately that variation is not really good at all. But that brings me already to the end of this video, and I hope that you enjoyed this little review on Shokan Warrior Kintaro. And of course, I will be back very soon with another video about something MK Mobile related. By now you know how it goes, so please stay safe and healthy, take care of each other. Thanks for tuning in again. Casey over and out for today.
Thank you for watching, Realm. If you enjoyed the slaughter and the bloodshed, you can support the channel by clicking on the like button. You can also click on one of the two videos presented by Baraka here. Also make sure that you are subscribed and click the bell notification icon to be notified upon new uploads. You all know the drill. Wound not kill, have a good one, and see you next time.